I didn't play too many of the new games this year. I was busy either taking time to really play the new games that I did like, or I was just broke as hell. $69 every month is damn near out of my tax bracket. But those games that I did play this year were some of my favorite titles that I've ever played. Like, Street Fighter 6 really brought the competitive love for fighting games that I used to have back for me. Playing Hogwarts Legacy growing up as a Harry Potter fan was like a dream come true, minus the transphobia. And of course, the long-awaited game of Starfield was one of my favorite recent Bethesda experiences. Now, right before, Starfield had came out, I was really in that Bethesda mode. I had just replayed Fallout 3 after 5 years, and after that I played the first edition of Skyrim for the first time, taking in more gameplay glitches than every bad PC port combined. I was just really feeling Bethesda at that time because they mostly make my favorite kind of game to play. A game where you can have the freedom of approaching it however you want to, so that no two gameplays are the exact same. And in my opinion, I think that Bethesda once again knocked it out of the park with Starfield. Like, for example, some players chose to rizz up Andrea as the romance option, while others chose to be stupid. And that's only 1% of the amount of options you get to have in this mass open space adventure title. However, not everyone is on the same boat with how I feel about the game. Some people love it, but since its release, there's been people that have been really vocal on how whack they think that this game is. These complaints that you'll find online could range all over the place, from repetitive gameplay, or the use of fast travel in space, the inclusion of a lot of desolate planets, or the lack of more drug trafficking features. Okay, I might have added that one. I was really immersed in Aurora. Most players are either on the side of love or extreme hate for Starfield, which is, perfectly fine. We're all entitled to an opinion, but it seems like Bethesda isn't deciding to stay as quiet on the hate as they were for the past few months and actually address what they see head on, something that most big studios won't do because after they get that fat check from everyone buying the game, they just don't give a fuck. But it looks like all the hate online really struck a nerve somewhere at Bethesda's office, because this move on Bethesda's part comes in the form of them replying to some negative Steam store page reviews that criticize some of the game's features that, I just told y'all about. They basically replied to some long-ass essay complaints about the game with more long-ass essay responses on some passive-aggressive Redditor timing. Like this one dude, explained in his review how he thought that Starfield's story was pretty bad and boring, and then Bethesda replied with a rebuttal explaining all of the various things to do in the game, starting with the sentence, "If you feel that things are getting boring, there is so much more to do than just the main mission!" Exclamation point. Which is true, but the way that they typed that just seemed like some sort of anime character giving some overly positive monologue like Naruto or something, it just feels weird. I've only found 3 dev responses in the reviews, and they're all basically in the same format, just responding to the criticism, explaining how there's much more to do in the game than it seems, and that they take inspiration from real life space adventures, so not every planet is going to have human life on it. Just really trying to defend this game in all of its glory. Now, I'm not saying that Bethesda is in the wrong for trying to break this game down to their haters. I mean, they're obviously passionate about it, which is dope to see, but when it comes to video games, especially ones that, people have already experienced head on by themselves, the opinions that they have on it aren't likely going to change no matter what you tell them, even if you're the developer yourself. Most games aren't like music where you can defend it to a point where someone will slowly and surely start to like it, but a game is instead something you just eventually pick up or you don't. So while the effort is cool to see, it's kind of just, no point in really trying to change people's mind. Now, hopefully they did all of this just to highlight what the game has to offer for the people that see these reviews and haven't played the game, because if you're typing paragraphs to explain how much you don't like a game, that kind of hate is just irreversible. But overall, this just seems like some sort of harmless damage control for Bethesda to defend a game that they worked hard on for years. People had crazy expectations from this game when it first dropped, so this kind of criticism was going to happen regardless. I just think that the devs should focus on making what they made better for the people that are actually enjoying the game, instead of trying to win an unbeatable battle against the internet, because the keyboard warriors never die. They just keep multiplying. Bars. So that's what the developers of Starfield are currently up to in the game's timeline. Hopefully they'll continue to improve the game and make it better for the people going forward. So what do you guys think about Starfield and, you know, all this developer nonsense, man? Feel free to comment down below. And as always, like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. My words just blended in right there. My fault, but yeah, I'll see you on the next one.